I texted my beautiful boss. You free this Sunday? She texted back. You pig. Me? Then she added, this weekend? Okay, I can come over now. Me? After college, my girlfriend, Jessica Bell, and I landed jobs at the same company. It didn't take long for her to cheat on me. The other guy, her department manager, Mark Jenkins. I saw red. I stormed over and had a massive fight with Jessica. She just smirked at me, cold as ice. Liam, don't make a scene. We're not kids anymore. Mark's not much older than you, and he's already a department manager. Are you ever going to make manager, Liam? You think I, Jessica Bell, am going to waste my life struggling with you? Honestly, I wanted to quit right then and there. I couldn't stand working at the same place as that conniving woman. But reality slapped me back to my senses. Finding a decent job these days isn't easy. I needed this on my resume, needed the experience. I wasn't going to let some two-timing ex derail my entire life. So I buckled down, determined to tackle my work with a positive attitude. I was going to knock it out of the park, make her regret ever doubting me. A mere manager? Like that was some impossible dream for me. No way was I letting her define my future. Still, being cheated on like that. It was a raw deal, a huge blow to my pride, and I was definitely bummed out. Since it was the weekend, I decided to go hiking. I've always thought guys should hit the trail sometimes. Get up high, take in the view, clear your head. It's the best way to shake off whatever's eating you. Early that morning, on the way up the mountain, I ran into this stunning woman. Fair skin, gorgeous features, killer body, and an undeniable air about her. What made me chuckle, though, was that she clearly had zero hiking experience. She was wearing a flowy sundress. When our paths crossed on the trail, we gave each other a polite nod and a quick smile. Then we took separate forks, both heading for the summit. By the time I reached the top, the sun was just rising. Golden light spilled over everything, and the whole sprawling city lay glittering below me. All my frustration just evaporated, replaced by this surge of exhilaration. I yelled out over the city like a total idiot, letting out all my pent-up emotions. Just as my shout died down, I heard another one. H. A woman's voice, and it was filled with pure terror. I immediately thought of the beautiful woman in the sundress I'd seen earlier. Oh crap, was she in trouble? I followed the sound, pushing through the brush. Sure enough, she was in a bad spot. She must have slipped on the trail and tumbled down a steep embankment next to the path. Luckily, a thick patch of bushes had broken her fall. Unfortunately, in the process, the thorny branches had shredded her dress. When I found her, she was lying there, pale as a ghost. Her long, perfect legs were scraped and bleeding. Seeing me approach, her eyes darted nervously, and her face flushed bright red. I tried my best not to stare, turning my back slightly. Don't worry, I said. I just want to help. Then I started taking off my jacket. Her voice was laced with panic. What are you doing taking your clothes off? Don't you dare try anything. Help! I sighed, a little exasperated, and held out my jacket. Here, tie this around your waist. It'll cover you up a bit. She blinked, then looked a bit ashamed. Oh, thank you. I misunderstood. She took my jacket and wrapped it around her front, tying the sleeves at her waist. From the front, at least, it covered what her torn dress no longer did. She'd twisted her ankle and couldn't walk, so we tried calling for help. But bad luck, no signal up here in the mountains. How about I carry you down? Well, she hesitated. Is that appropriate? I shrugged. Doesn't bother me. Up to you. Or you can wait here, and I'll hike down until I get a signal and call for rescue. Though I have heard there are wild boars on this mountain. I wasn't trying to scare her, not really. I'd never seen one, but the rumors about boars were definitely out there. Clearly it worked. She nodded, her face still crimson, and whispered, Then, if you wouldn't mind, please carry me down. Before we started down, I needed to tend her cuts. Nothing life-threatening, but they were bleeding steadily. As a seasoned hiker, carrying a basic first aid kit was second nature. I pulled out antiseptic wipes, gauze, and some Band-Aids from my pack. You'll need to lift the jacket a bit, so I can clean those cuts. Her face was on fire as she carefully lifted the edge of my jacket covering her thighs. I dabbed the antiseptic on the scrapes with a cotton swab, then started bandaging them. During this, my hand inevitably brushed against her skin. I swear, I wasn't trying to cop a feel or anything. But why was her breathing suddenly getting heavier, the tips of her ears turning pink? Whoa, hold on. Were her thighs like a super sensitive spot? My own thoughts started to get jumbled. Don't do this to me, lady. You're making this really difficult for me. Through her increasingly ragged breaths, I finally finished bandaging her legs. Now for the scratches on her back. This was going to be even trickier. You've got some thorns in your back. If we don't get them out, just do what you need to do. She murmured, head down. I moved behind her. Okay, here goes. This might sting a little. Try to hold still. She nodded. Honestly, if I said my mind was completely pure at that moment, I'd be lying. Her smooth, flawless back. It was a potent distraction for any guy. I took a deep breath, trying to push away any inappropriate thoughts. Removing thorns, disinfecting, bandaging. I did it all as quickly and professionally as I could. When it was all done, we both let out a huge sigh of relief. We were both sweating bullets. Her face was so red it looked like it was radiating heat. Man, this was intense. Such a simple task, yet it felt like we'd just run a marathon. Carrying her down the mountain, her chest pressing against my back with every step, it was a challenge to stay focused. The atmosphere was a weird mix of charged and awkward. You must be tired, right? Want to take a break? She whispered near my ear. I shook my head. Nah, I'm good. Forget going down. I could carry you up this mountain, no problem. That wasn't just bravado. Fresh out of college, I was in my prime, and I wasn't some scrawny bookworm. Quite the opposite, I loved working out. I was in great shape. Even now, with my jacket around her, my bare chest exposed to the morning breeze, I didn't feel cold at all thanks to my well-defined pecs. After I said I wasn't tired, the awkward silence descended again. To break it, and to stop my own mind from wandering, I started making small talk. During our chat, she learned my name was Liam Walker, and I learned hers was Sophia Hayes. I asked her why on earth she'd gone hiking in a dress. She said the hike was completely unplanned. She'd been in a lousy mood just driving around aimlessly and ended up at the foot of the mountain. Decided to climb on a whim. I asked why she was in a bad mood. She said she didn't want to work. She wanted to go abroad, study art, but her family was pressuring her to get a job. I managed a small smile. Life's rarely fair, right? 10-1, things don't go your way. For young people, getting a job early definitely eases the financial burden on their parents. I figured her parents probably had their reasons for not supporting her dream. After all, studying abroad, art school, those things cost a fortune. Words that just weren't part of an ordinary person's vocabulary. When we got to the parking lot at the base of the mountain, I realized I'd been naive. My perspective had been way too small. I'd been superficial, because a Porsche, so shiny it nearly blinded me, was parked there, silently waiting for her. Thanks for carrying me down. Could you help me one more time? Without anything on her lower half besides my jacket, she couldn't drive. Could you possibly drive me home? She asked, looking embarrassed. Sure, why not? In for a penny, in for a pound. Might as well see it through. I slid in the driver's seat. Hop in. She carefully lifted her legs and settled into the passenger seat. Just a heads up, my driving skills aren't exactly top-notch. I got my license after college, but I'd barely driven since. My only real experience was in the beat-up clunker at the driving school. Driving a car this nice for the first time? Yeah, I was a little nervous. She saw my anxiety and smiled. It's okay, really. Drive however you feel comfortable. If it gets scratched or dented, I won't blame you. I chuckled. Even though she said that, I was extra cautious. Both hands gripping the steering wheel, I drove with painstaking care. I was practically making the sports car crawl at bicycle speed. She watched my serious expression, looking like she wanted to laugh, and started giving me pointers from the passenger seat. Sure enough, with her guidance, my driving improved considerably. Just as I was getting a bit cocky, picking up speed, a small dog suddenly darted out in front of us. Panicked, I yanked the wheel to the left. The sudden inertia threw Sophia's body right towards me. By the time I slammed on the brakes, and we skidded to a halt, Sophia's head was buried in my lap. The atmosphere was beyond awkward. Folks, it really wasn't my fault. Who told her not to wear her seatbelt? After a couple of seconds, Sophia lifted her head, face beet red. It's okay. Good driving. That was quick thinking, excellent emergency maneuver. I went back to being super careful. Finally, following her directions, I drove into an upscale, gated community. I pulled up in front of a beautiful house surrounded by lush bamboo. After we got out, Sophia politely invited me. Want to come in for a bit? I shook my head, smiling as I declined. I was still shirtless. It would be pretty inappropriate to go inside like that. Besides, she was clearly from a wealthy family. Rich folks often have a lot of rules, and I just feel out of place. I knew my place. We were just two people who'd had a chance encounter, and I'd helped her out. No need to get too involved. Then wait here for me. She opened the front door and went inside. Not long after, she reappeared, changed into another beautiful dress, and holding my jacket. She looked a little sheepish. Here's your jacket back. But, well, I was wearing it. How about this? I'll buy you a new one. I smiled and shook my head. No need. Truthfully, a jacket she'd worn. I wouldn't have minded keeping it. On the way down the mountain, a wicked thought had crossed my mind. I wanted to take this jacket home and just bury my nose in it. But the moment the thought popped up, I cursed myself internally. Pervert. Creep. How could I have such a disgusting idea? After a round of self-reproach, I forgave myself. Sophia was just too beautiful. Any guy in that kind of close contact with her would have had a few colorful thoughts. It didn't mean I was a deviant. When Sophia saw I was refusing, she didn't press it. Once I had my jacket, I said goodbye, ready to head home and shower. Carrying her down that mountain, the physical exertion and the internal heat had left me drenched in sweat. As I walked out of the gated community, I glanced back. This woman I'd helped. She was just a passing encounter in my life. A regular guy like me, we wouldn't have any more significant interactions. Monday, back at the office. I was busy at my desk when the CEO's executive assistant randomly called out to me. Liam, you look strong. Come on, help me take this stack of documents to the conference room. Sure thing. I knew a very important meeting was happening in there. Rumor had it the old CEO was retiring, and the new CEO was going to be decided in today's meeting. Clutching the thick pile of papers, I just reached the conference room door when I ran into Jessica. She put out a hand to stop me. Liam, don't you know there's an important meeting going on? This isn't the place for you. I scoffed. Since when are you the hall monitor? Can't you see I'm delivering documents? She shot me a contemptuous look. Oh, so you're just the delivery boy. Fine, go on in then. A flare of anger rose in me. This woman latches onto someone with a bit of power, and suddenly she's looking down her nose at everyone. When we were together, I never realized she was this kind of person. I shot back sarcastically. Yeah, that's right, I'm just an errand boy. Can't compare to your lofty position, can I? She chuckled. Of course, you can't compare to me. Mark is in that meeting. He specifically arranged for me to be in charge of serving drinks to all the bigwigs in there. I almost laughed out loud. After all that, I thought she'd landed some amazing role. Turns out, she was just a coffee girl. I really didn't get it. We were all just worker bees here. What gave her, a coffee girl, the right to look down on me, the errand boy? Seeing my smirk, she bristled. What? You looking down on me? Let me tell you, plenty of people would kill for this drink-serving job. Right. I nodded agreeably. Serve the execs coffee today. Conquer the world tomorrow. Exactly, she said, face full of pride. I couldn't be bothered with her anymore. I knocked lightly on the conference room door. Hearing it come in, I walked in with the documents. The moment I stepped inside, I froze, because I saw a familiar face. Sophia Hayes. She looked surprised to see me too. A blush crept up her neck as she gave me a small nod. My mind raced. She worked at this company too, and she was important enough to be in this meeting. That meant she wasn't just a regular employee. She had to be management. Suddenly it clicked. The old CEO's last name was also Hayes, and Sophia was sitting in the seat directly to Mr. Hayes's left, the second most important spot at the table. Could she be related to the old CEO? Mr. Hayes himself was approachable, without any of the usual executive airs. Seeing me laden with papers, he smiled. Thanks for your hard work, young man. I snapped out of my thoughts. Not at all, Mr. Hayes. Where would you like these documents? Since you brought them over, how about you do us one more favor and hand them out? One for everyone. Certainly, I started distributing the documents. Meanwhile, the meeting continued. I heard Mr. Hayes say, I've decided to step back, take on more of an advisory role. While I'll remain chairman of the board, The position of CEO will be filled by my daughter, Sophia. From now on, all major company decisions will be hers to make. The words had barely left his mouth when the room erupted in enthusiastic applause. Mark Jenkins, Jessica's new flame, and the HR manager clapped the loudest. His hands were a blur, his posture so exaggeratedly enthusiastic it was like he was desperate for Mr. Hayes to notice him. I was pretty stunned. Sophia really was related to Mr. Hayes. She was his daughter. I couldn't believe that the woman I'd helped just 2 days ago was now my boss. Once everyone has a copy, please take a look. These are some arrangements I've made for the company before my retirement. Mr. Hayes continued, then looked at Sophia with open affection. Sophia hasn't been involved in the day-to-day operations before, so I hope you'll all give her your full support and guidance. Please don't disappoint the trust I've placed in you. By this point, Mark was already on his feet, pledging his loyalty to the new boss. He hadn't even glanced at the documents yet, because I hadn't reached him with a copy. Ms. Hayes, I'm Mark Jenkins, the HR manager. I've long heard of your unparalleled beauty, and seeing you today, it's truly. Before he could finish his sycophantic drivel, I reached him with the stack of documents. Then I accidentally bumped him, nearly knocking him off his feet. He scrambled to regain his balance, glaring at me. You idiot. Watch where you're going. You try and get fired. It wasn't intentional, I replied coolly. The stack of papers was blocking my view. I think you did it on purpose, he seethed. Get out of here now. Yes, I absolutely did it on purpose. That sleazeball just rubbed me the wrong way. What was wrong with giving him a little nudge? Just then, Sophia suddenly stood up. Liam clearly didn't do it on purpose. Why are you being so nasty? Mark froze, a flicker of panic in his eyes. Making a bad impression on the new CEO? He had to be worried, and he clearly couldn't figure out how Sophia knew my name, since she'd never officially been to the company before. Mr. Hayes spoke up too. As members of this company's management, your perspective determines the company's perspective. I expect all of you to have a generous spirit. Though he didn't name names, Mr. Hayes gave Mark a pointed look after he finished speaking. Mark instantly broke out in a cold sweat. I'm sorry, Mr. Hayes, I was wrong. I lost my temper for a moment. Let's continue the meeting, Mr. Hayes said, waving a hand dismissively, cutting off his explanation. Seeing Mark squirm was immensely satisfying. I shot Sophia a grateful look, finished handing out the documents, and left the conference room. At the door, Jessica was still there, ready with more snide remarks. Finished handing those out? Then hurry up and leave. This isn't a place for you. Wouldn't want to interrupt your guard dog duties, I retorted with a smile. Remember to go refill their water. Don't want to mess up and lose your job. Jessica, flushed with anger, wanted to lash out, but afraid of being overheard by those inside. She shot me a venomous glare. I just laughed and walked away quickly. Honestly, I couldn't understand it. She was the one who cheated, so why was she treating me like this? Worse than she'd treat a complete stranger. After mulling it over, it hit me. She'd dumped me from Mark, so she had to constantly prove that Mark was better than me in every way. That way, her cheating seemed justified, logical even. If I turned out to be more successful than Mark, wouldn't that make her look like a fool? So, she'd do everything in her power to stop me from succeeding at the company. Later that morning, as I passed the CEO's office, I heard Mr. Hayes' cheerful voice from inside. Sophia, before the meeting today, you were still arguing with me, saying you absolutely didn't want to be CEO. What happened during the meeting that suddenly changed your mind? Aren't you happy I changed my mind? Haven't you always hoped I'd take over for you? Happy? Of course, I'm happy. Sophia, it's not that Dad doesn't want to send you abroad to study art. But Dad's getting older, and I had you late in life. I just can't bear for you to be so far away. Can you understand that, honey? I understand. If I didn't, I wouldn't have accepted the CEO position. Mr. Hayes chuckled. Oh, stop trying to fool me. You willingly took this job. There must be another reason. Come on, spill. Did you meet someone at the company? You guess. I bet you did. We have a lot of talented young guys here. Anyone who caught your eye must be pretty special. Could it be Mark Jenkins from HR? He's well-educated, capable at his job, and not bad-looking. Sophia snorted. Ugh, as if I wouldn't look twice at him. That guy has sly written all over him. Not a good person. Then who? Dad. What do you think of Liam Walker? Liam Walker? Which Liam Walker? The one who delivered the documents in a meeting today. Oh, that young fellow. He looks pretty solid, well-built, and quite presentable. But I haven't really interacted with him. Why do you know him? You could say that. Mr. Hayes's interest was piqued. Well, tell me then, what's he like? Is he capable? I don't know. You don't know? Nope. But I'm sure he's a good person. Mr. Hayes laughed. In business, just being a good person isn't enough. Competence is what matters most. I disagree. I think character is the most important thing. As for job skills, those can be developed over time. Sophia, something seems a little off with you. Don't tell me you've fallen for him. Sophia's voice turned playful, almost teasing. And what if I have? What would you do then? Mr. Hayes's tone became more serious. I've always said, when it comes to finding you a husband, we don't care about his family background. We have more money than we could spend anyway. But the man himself must be capable, able to protect our family's legacy. If he's up to it, I have no objections. It's up to him. I think he probably is capable. And if he's not, I can train him. All right. You figure out how you want to mentor him. You're the CEO now. You call the shots. Daddy, you're the best. Sophia cooed. You're the best daddy in the whole world. Mr. Hayes, clearly delighted by his daughter's affection, chuckled heartily. Ha, but I'm really curious. How did you two meet? You've never been to the company before, right? Oh, well, that's a story I'll tell you tonight when we get home. I stood frozen outside the door, eavesdropping. What in the world? Sophia Hayes was interested in me? Thinking it over, it seemed impossible. She was probably just grateful because I carried her down the mountain. That feeling hadn't worn off yet. Once some time passed and the gratitude faded, things would go back to normal. We were from two different worlds, her and I. It could never happen. Better to just focus on my work, build myself up. That was the only way. After Mr. Hayes officially left the company, Sophia took the reins. I was busy at my desk in the sales department when my manager rushed over. He was beaming. Liam, I just got the notification. Effective immediately, you're promoted to assistant sales manager. You'll be my second in command. He then added emphatically. Actually, I've always thought highly of you. Between us, man, what's second in command? If anything comes up, we'll just figure out together. I was completely floored. Assistant manager. I'd only been with the company a short time, hadn't really achieved anything major yet. How did I suddenly become an assistant manager? Are you sure there's no mistake? I don't know if I'm qualified. Absolutely no mistake. My manager grinned. The directive came straight from the CEO's office, bypassed HR completely. Liam, I had no idea you were so tight with the new CEO. You'll have to look out for your old buddy here. Okay. Huh. Sure thing. I stammered, still dazed. After my manager left, I thought about it and started to accept it. It seemed Sophia had promoted me as a way of thanking me. Well, it certainly helped. For someone like me, full of ambition, this was a great springboard to make my mark in the company. After mulling it over, I decided to go to the CEO's office and thank her. I just reached her office door when I heard Mark Jenkins's voice from inside. Ms. Hayes, why wasn't Liam Walker's appointment processed through HR? This isn't standard procedure. Sophia replied coolly. What procedure? Mr. Jenkins, are you trying to tell me how to do my job? No, of course not. I was just curious if you and Liam Walker knew each other, so I came to ask. Curiosity isn't always a good thing, Mr. Jenkins. It can be dangerous, Sophia said, her voice firm. Stick to your own duties and stop prying into matters that don't concern you. Standing outside, I was impressed. Wow, I hadn't realized Sophia had such a commanding presence. But it made sense. Growing up with Mr. Hayes, a real chip off the old block. Mr. Hayes, though approachable, was no pushover when it mattered. He could be incredibly authoritative when the situation called for it. Sophia was the same. When I carried her down the mountain, she was just a vulnerable young woman. But now, sitting in that CEO chair, she was a bona fide powerhouse. Mark was clearly intimidated by Sophia's warning, standing there, momentarily lost for words. Is there anything else? If not, you can get back to your work, Sophia said dismissively. Normally, Mark should have taken a hint and left. But he just had to push his luck. Ms. Hayes, to celebrate your appointment as CEO, I've booked a table for a candlelight dinner at the best restaurant in the city. Would you do me the honor of joining me? My jaw nearly dropped. A candlelight dinner. Dude, could your intentions to hit on Sophia be any more obvious? Sure enough, Sophia replied icily. Thank you for the thought, but I don't think a candlelight dinner is appropriate. That's something for couples. Seeing the topic was out in the open, Mark took the opportunity to hint at his feelings. Ms. Hayes, that truly wasn't my intention. However, who can say what the future holds? To be honest, the moment I saw you, I felt an undeniable attraction. I simply can't help myself. How dare you? Sophia slammed her hand on the desk. Who gave you permission to be attracted to me? Get out. Perfect timing. I knocked on the door. Ms. Hayes, may I come in? The moment Sophia saw me, her eyes instantly softened, but then she shot another fierce glare at Mark. Ow, don't make me say it again. If what you said today causes Liam any misunderstanding, you can expect to be collecting your final paycheck from accounting and clearing out your desk. Mark was completely stunned, his gaze shifting to me, full of complex emotions. Hey, why are you looking at me? I was just as confused. What did she mean by misunderstanding? After Mark scrambled out, I explained why I'd come. Ms. Hayes, thank you for promoting me to assistant manager. However, I know it's because of what happened on the mountain that day. Don't worry, I'll work hard. If I don't deliver results, you could demote me. Sophia didn't address my words directly. Instead, she smiled and asked, Liam, what do you usually like to do for fun? Hiking, traveling, writing. Basically, just doing things I love to do. Sophia blushed. Doing things you love to do. It hit me, and I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Ms. Hayes, please don't misunderstand. That's not what I meant. Then she asked, what do you usually like to eat? Lots of things. Barbecue is probably my favorite. Oh. Sophia looked thoughtful. The next day, around noon, a rich, smoky aroma of barbecue suddenly wafted through the office. Under everyone's curious gaze, Sophia walked in carrying a large bag. Liam, this is Wagyu beef, flown and fresh this morning. I had my family chef grill it. Come try some, see what you think. The office instantly erupted in whispers. Whoa, Ms. Hayes actually brought Liam barbecue. What's going on here? Is she trying to make us all jealous? I was a bit taken aback too. Ms. Hayes, I've never had it, but I know Wagyu is pretty expensive. What's this for? Don't worry about how expensive it is. Just eat it. But I haven't done anything to deserve this. Sophia smiled faintly. Oh, but you've done a great deal. Consider it my way of repaying you. Fair enough, I guess. Repayment for carrying her down the mountain. Even though she'd already promoted me, another meal of Wagyu barbecue wasn't going to break the bank for her. Besides, if I didn't eat it, she'd just stand here arguing with me, making things awkward. Thanks then. Don't mind if I do. Only after I accepted did Sophia leave, looking satisfied. I shared it with everyone in the sales department, and they went wild. I thought that would be the end of it. But on the third day, Sophia showed up with another bag. Liam, come get your barbecue. Huh? What's this for now? Sophia smiled warmly. No reason. Just because I want you to have it. No, this meat isn't cheap. I can't accept it. You have to eat it. If you don't, I'll fire you. Sophia plumped the bag down on my desk. I just stared dumbfounded. Do all powerhouse CEOs become this unreasonable? Fine, I'll eat. Anyway, once her gratitude wore off, she'd probably stop this. But I was way off. From then on, Sophia brought me barbecue every single day. I went from initial resistance to gradual numbness. She brings it, I eat it. What was I supposed to do? Wait to get fired. Friday, I was late. My stupid bike chain fell off halfway to work. Sophia intercepted me at the company entrance. Ms. Hayes, I didn't mean to be, my bike broke down. Sophia asked, what kind of bike do you use? I puffed out my chest proudly. A bike share. Sophia laughed. You ride a bike share? Serves you right for being late. Then, she pulled out a Mercedes key fob. I'm giving you a car. Use this weekend to practice your driving. No way. I waved my hands frantically. I can't accept this. It's too much. Sophia shoved the keys into my hand. If you don't accept it, I'll fire you. Your tardiness harms the company's interests. Being late by a few minutes means you work a few minutes less. Don't underestimate those few minutes. Over time, do you think it's still just a few minutes? She made such a good point. I was speechless. A colleague nearby chimed in with a grin. Ms. Hayes, I also ride a bike share. I'm also afraid of being late, and I don't want to harm the company's interests either. Get lost. Sophia swatted playfully in his direction. Looking at the car keys in my hand, my mind was a whirlwind. What Sophia said that day about being interested in me, could it actually be true? Otherwise, there was no way to explain why she was being so good to me. Or was I overthinking it? These things, while valuable, probably weren't a big deal to a wealthy CEO heiress. Whatever. Anyway, if she wanted to do this, I'd just go along with it for now. Once her initial enthusiasm wore off, I'd return everything. The news that Sophia had given me a car spread through the company like wildfire. Everyone was secretly discussing whether Sophia and I were actually a couple. Some of the more gossip-prone female colleagues, citing some mysterious inside source, were confidently saying Sophia and I were going on a date. I was exasperated. What date? How come I was the last to know we were supposedly dating? Seriously, Sophia and I were from completely different worlds. What I needed to do was focus on improving myself. A man should rely on himself, not others. Pinning my hopes on some fairy tale romance with a rich CEO? Not exactly a reliable plan. But these rumors still sparked a lot of jealousy. Among them, Mark Jenkins and Jessica Bell seemed to find me particularly irksome. Mark's glares were becoming openly hostile. I understood. He probably thought that if Sophia was going to fall for someone at the company, it should have been an elite like him. I was the one who'd shattered his dreams of pursuing Sophia. As for Jessica, she was clearly feeling a massive sense of crisis. A crisis that if I succeeded, she'd look like a total fool. She cornered me in the elevator, her voice dripping with sarcasm. Well, Liam, I didn't realize you had it in you. Had what in me? I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, cut the act. I can't believe you'd stoop to seducing Miss Hayes just to climb the ladder. I shot back coldly. First of all, there's nothing unprofessional between Ms. Hayes and me. Secondly, you, who cheated on me with Mark Jenkins for your own advancement, have no right to accuse me of anything. Jessica, stung by my retort, flushed with anger. Liam, don't think that just because you've snagged Ms. Hayes, you've gone from rags to riches. Let me tell you, rich girls like Ms. Hayes, it's just a whim for her. When she gets bored, she'll dump you. I kept firing back. And how do you know Mark isn't just having a fling with you? A sleazeball like him, you think he won't dump you? We're different. Mark truly loves me. Oh, really? Then how come I saw Mark trying to ask Ms. Hayes out, even booking a candlelight dinner, only to get shot down and slink away, looking like a fool? What did you say? Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Go ask him yourself. And let me warn you, watch your mouth from now on. Say anything else about seducing or snagging, and you'll answer to me. Jessica shrieked. Liam, who do you think you are, threatening me? You're just an assistant sales manager. Mark is the HR manager, a level above you. You lay a finger on me, and Mark will make you pay. Don't think, Ms. Hayes will actually risk offending senior management for you. Just as she finished her tirade, a cool voice came from behind her. And what if I do? Huh, Ms. Hayes. Seeing Sophia appear behind her, Jessica was instantly flustered. Anyone who upsets me, regardless of their position, will be packing their bags immediately. Then, Sophia added pointedly, and anyone who upsets Liam, well, they'll be packing their bags too. Jessica, face beat red, head bowed, scurried away without another word. Who was that? My ex-girlfriend. A real piece of work. Cheated on me with Mark Jenkins from HR. I told her the truth. Oh, and how do you feel about her now? I don't give her a second thought. She's not worth it. But she keeps trying to provoke me. I honestly don't get what her deal is. Oh. Sophia said oh again, her expression thoughtful. She glanced at Jessica's retreating figure, her eyes narrowed. To dispel the rumors, I threw myself into my work. One night, after schmoozing a major client until I was about to puke, I finally sealed the deal. But this client was incredibly busy and only had time to sign the contract on Sunday. And he insisted that the company CEO be present for the signing. No choice, I had to agree. I stumbled home in a daze, my mind still preoccupied with whether Sophia would be free on Sunday to sign the contract. So, I pulled out my phone and sent her a text. You free this Sunday? Quickly, Sophia texted back. You pig. Pervert. Bir. Pervert. Why would she call me a pervert? I shook my hazy head. Crap. She must have misunderstood what I meant. I was about to explain when Sophia sent another message. This weekend. Okay, I can come over now. Oh no, she had completely misunderstood. My already spinning brain instantly short-circuited. I'm so tired. Just let the world end. I collapsed onto the sofa, my eyes fluttered shut, and I passed out. The next day was Saturday. When I woke up and saw dozens of unread messages on my phone, I instantly went numb. Liam, where do you live? Send me your address. Why aren't you replying? Liam, what exactly did you mean? You're not messing with me, are you? Liam, I like you. I like you. I like you. I want to be with you. I was well and truly numb. I never, ever imagined Sophia would misunderstand. The crucial thing was, even after misunderstanding, she hadn't rejected me. Meaning, she didn't mind. My mind was a total mess. Logically, I felt like Sophia and I could never work out. We were from different worlds, the gap was just too big. But emotionally, a part of me was cussing myself out. Liam, what the hell are you posturing for? This girl, even though she misunderstood you, didn't say no. Doesn't that tell you something? Sophia Hayes genuinely likes you. What are you so afraid of, you coward? I pinched my thigh hard, deciding to first clear things up with Sophia. Whether I accepted her feelings or not, I couldn't let her mistakenly think I was that kind of guy. What, this Sunday, you free? I meant this Sunday, are you free? I called Sophia and explained the situation. Sophia, last night, I had way too much to drink trying to land that big client. Honestly, I don't even remember how I got home. When I texted you, I was just trying to ask if you were free tomorrow for the signing. On the other end of the line, Sophia's disappointment was palpable. Oh, so that's what it was. I paused. Whoa, why did she sound disappointed? But then, she quickly laughed. Even when you're that wasted, you still remember to tell me about the contract signing on Sunday. Not bad, Liam. My faith in you wasn't misplaced. That kind of dedication deserves praise. Hearing her laugh, I relaxed considerably. I even started joking with her. Of course, this is a huge client. What's the company going to reward me with this time? Sophia barely hesitated before blurting out. How about me? Will you accept me as your reward? Huh. Silence hung heavy on both ends of the line. Her question completely blindsided me. I had no idea how to respond. And Sophia didn't say anything either, just waited for my answer. Finally, I saw things clearly. I couldn't keep running away. Whatever the future held, I needed to respond to her passionately right now. Yeah, to hell with the future. Having loved, that's what truly mattered. Okay, I'll take you as my reward. No take-backs. I finally gave her my answer. The next day, Sunday, the contract was signed smoothly, and Sophia and I officially became a couple. Talk about a double whammy of good fortune. She was overjoyed, linking her arm through mine as we strolled down the street in the bright sunshine, looking like she wanted to announce it to the whole world. As we were walking, we ran into Mark Jenkins and Jessica Bell. They were laughing and talking, looking every bit the scummy couple. It seemed that even though I'd told Jessica about Mark trying to pursue Sophia, it hadn't affected their relationship. No surprise there. Jessica was with Mark purely for opportunistic reasons. As long as Mark was HR manager, Jessica wouldn't break up with him. On that point, the woman was disturbingly clear-headed. She needed Mark's help to climb the ladder at work. But the moment Mark saw Sophia and me, he immediately dropped Jessica's hand. Even though Sophia was arm in arm with me. Even though Sophia had made it crystal clear to Mark that he was way out of his league. Mark still clung to some deluded hope. He didn't want Sophia to know about his relationship with Jessica. Jessica's expression turned ugly. It was hard to tell if it was because she saw me with Sophia or because Mark had let go of her hand. Either way, she looked furious. Mark stepped forward to greet us. What a coincidence, Miss Hayes. Then he glanced sideways at me. Liam, you're here too? Sophia tightened her grip on my arm. Mr. Jenkins, are you and Jessica Bell dating? No, don't misunderstand, Mark stammered. We were just out shopping together. Behind him, Jessica's face was practically contorted with rage. What a coincidence. I'm out shopping with Liam too. Sophia said, then smiled. Except Liam and I are dating. Ah, congratulations, congratulations. Mark mumbled awkwardly. He looked at me, his eyes a storm of complicated emotions. I saw resentment and a flicker of something vicious. His look clearly said, Liam, I screwed you over once, I can do it again. Just you wait. I wasn't about to tolerate that kind of hostile glare. I told Mark straight out, I really don't like you, man. Huh. Mark clearly hadn't expected me to say that and was momentarily speechless. It was Sophia, however, who said assertively, Mr. Jenkins, did you hear that? I don't care what issues you two had before, but I expect you not to upset Liam in the future. Otherwise, there won't be a place for you in this company anymore. Cold sweat dripped down Mark's forehead. Understood. I gave him a cold smile, took Sophia's hand, and walked away. As we passed Jessica, Sophia's sharp gaze swept over her. Once we were further away, I smiled at Sophia. Thanks for sticking up for me like that. Sophia pouted proudly. My man, of course I have to spoil him. Anyone who messes with you, messes with me. I'll make them regret it big time. With that, Sophia turned her head and shot another piercing look back at Jessica. After Sophia and I became a couple, everyone in the company knew. The rumor mill was working overtime. I just laughed it all off. To prove I wasn't just some guy riding her coattails, I worked even harder. Within a month, I closed several major deals, becoming the top salesperson in the department. Sophia transferred the original sales manager to another department, and I, naturally, was promoted from assistant manager to manager. One day, Jessica suddenly showed up in the sales department. She actually offered to shake my hand. Hello, Mr. Walker. I didn't shake her hand, just asked coolly, what can I do for you? A flash of anger crossed Jessica's eyes before she masked it. Starting today, I'm joining the sales department. She then produced an HR transfer form and placed it on my desk. I was surprised. She'd been in HR, with Mark looking out for her, living a pretty comfortable life. Why the sudden desire to work in sales? Sales was known for having the highest pressure and targets in the entire company. Knowing Jessica, she wasn't the type to willingly take on that kind of stress. But I didn't ask her why. Instead, I leaned back, crossed my legs, and said with a cold smile, Mark Jenkins just dumps people in my department without so much as a heads up? What does he think this place is? The sales department only takes the most capable employees, not just any trash. Jessica smiled. Liam, I know you hate me, but I'm not trash. If you can become the company's top salesperson, then I, Jessica Bell, certainly can too. She didn't even get angry. If this had been before, and I called her trash, she would have exploded. This just confirmed my suspicion. This woman coming to sales was definitely not as simple as it looked. Since I didn't know what their scheme was, perhaps keeping her close wasn't a bad idea. Right under my nose, I doubted she could stir up much trouble. When Sophia came to bring me my daily barbecue, she saw Jessica at a desk in the sales department. Her brow furrowed. Liam, did you bring her here? Nope. I shook my head. It was an HR transfer. Sophia looked annoyed. Which idiot was so clueless? Was it Mark? Is he tired of his job? Then, Sophia looked at me. HR transferred her here, and you just accepted it? Tell me, are you thinking of getting back together, rekindling old flames? I shook my head. Sophia, do you trust me? Sophia huffed. I trust you with other things, but with this kind of thing, I'm not taking any chances. I smiled. The whole company is under your watch. What are you worried about? Besides, how could she ever compare to you? In my heart, there's no woman in this world more beautiful than you. Sophia blushed deeply. You and your sweet talk. All right, just let her stay here for now. But let me make this clear up front. She better not have any ideas about you. Otherwise, I won't let her off easy. I smiled faintly to myself. If Jessica was after me, that would almost be preferable. I was more worried she had other, more sinister plans. A month later, the company's overall sales figures took a nosedive. Even though I was working my butt off, I couldn't stop the downward trend. I started to feel like something was seriously wrong. Why were so many clients we'd practically secured suddenly changing their minds at the last minute and signing with our competitors? Even some potential clients we hadn't fully pitched yet, when we contacted them, had already signed with the competition. There had to be something fishy going on. Sophia, worried I was under too much pressure, came to comfort me, Honey, sales figures go up and down. It's normal. Don't work yourself into the ground. I took her hand and smiled at her, but my mind was racing. The decline in sales started right after Jessica joined the sales department. Could I then assume this whole mess was connected to her? No, I had to find out for sure. The next day, I handed Jessica a file of client information. Jessica, these clients on this list, I need you to follow up with them thoroughly. Try to get them to sign the contracts. Then I added pointedly, these clients are very important. The deal values are all significant. If you can close these, it will definitely turn this month's performance around. And since you're new to sales and don't have many resources yet, I'm giving you these prime potential clients. It'll help boost your personal numbers. Make the most of it. Jessica smiled at me. Thanks, but I could tell it was a fake smile. The real smile wasn't on her lips. It was in her eyes. A smile of triumph. I went upstairs to a conference room and locked the door behind me. Then I took out several burner phones and lined them up on the conference table. That's right. The client information I gave Jessica was completely bogus. The contact details on that list, they all led to these burner phones in front of me. Sure enough, it wasn't long before one of the phones rang. I answered it. The voice on the other end wasn't Jessica. It was an unfamiliar voice. Mr. Sterling, hello. I'm a sales manager from Apex Industries. Is this a good time to talk? Mr. Sterling. That was one of the fake names I'd put on the client list. And Apex Industries, our biggest competitor. A cold smile spread across my face. Just as I suspected, the client list had barely been in Jessica's hands before it was leaked to the competition. Mr. Sterling, our company's product pricing is much more competitive. Would you be interested in considering our offer? I mumbled a few excuses, said I was busy and would call back later, then hung up. Not long after, the second phone rang. Mr. Davies, hello. I'm a sales manager from Apex Industries. Is this a good time to talk? I didn't say a word, just hung up. The sales manager sent me a text. Apologies, perhaps you're in a meeting? I'll try contacting you again later. Have a great day. I just finished reading the text when the third phone rang. Mr. Albright, hello. I'm a sales manager from Apex Industries. Is this a good time to talk? And so it went. Every single contact on the fake list I'd given Jessica received a call. I let out a long breath. Now the truth was out. Jessica was stealing company client data and feeding it to our competitor. No wonder she'd willingly come to sales. Only the sales department had access to this kind of information. But why? For money. And was Mark involved in this? With these questions swirling in my head, I headed for Sophia's office. After I explained everything, Sophia wasn't as angry as I'd expected. Instead, she seemed almost excited. Great. I've been wanting to deal with her for ages. I just didn't have a good excuse. She walked right into this one. She has no one to blame but herself. I blinked. Been wanting to deal with her for ages. So, you've disliked Jessica for a while now, huh? Duh. Anyone who dares to cheat on my man is asking for trouble. Jessica was at her desk, getting ready to leave for the day, when the legal team stormed in. Ms. Bell, you can't leave. You are suspected of stealing confidential client information, causing significant financial losses to this company. We have already contacted the police. Please wait here for their arrival. Jessica visibly panicked. You're slandering me. What proof do you have that I stole client information? This proof. Sophia walked in, slamming the fake client list onto the desk. This list is identical to the one Liam gave you, isn't it? What a coincidence that Apex Industries obtained all the information on this list right after it landed in your hands. Jessica panicked even more, but tried to bluff her way out. These are potential clients. You gather intel on them. Don't you think Apex Industries does too? How can you say they got the information from this list? I stepped forward, a cold smile on my face. Simple. Because this is a fake list. All the names on this list are fabricated. I spent 1 minute scribbling them down. These people don't exist anywhere. And all the contact numbers provided are for burner phones I activated yesterday. I own every single one of them. Jessica's face turned ashen. Liam, you're despicable. You're treacherous. You're shameless. I fell for your trap. She started screaming, completely unhinged. Wow, what a piece of work. Her logic left everyone in the room stunned. So, she was the victim now. I looked at her, my voice cold. Was this your idea alone? What were you trying to achieve? Jessica, who had been sobbing, lifted her head. What was I trying to achieve? Liam, I hate you. You were just a nobody. How dare you win Sophia Hayes' affection and become the top salesperson and department manager? If you're so successful, doesn't that make me look like a joke for dumping you? Her logic was astounding. So, basically, you just can't stand to see me do well. Yes. I wanted to crush your sales momentum, give all your clients to Apex Industries. Then you'd be finished. Not only would you lose your top salesperson title, but Sophia Hayes wouldn't value you anymore either. Basically, I can't let you be more successful than me. Sophia almost laughed out of sheer exasperation. She linked her arm through mine. Jessica Bell, let me tell you something. Even if Liam isn't the top salesperson, he's still my man. I love him, no matter what, I love him. Jessica cried. That's why I had to destroy him even more. I can't let him be better off than me. Otherwise, I become a laughingstock. I sighed helplessly. Jessica, I know you didn't do this alone. Who else was involved? Just tell the truth. No one. It was just me. Jessica roared at me. I smiled faintly. It doesn't matter if you don't admit it. We'll be suing Apex Industries as well. I'd like to see if they're willing to take the fall to protect the real mastermind. And I also know you're protecting this person, not because you love them. You're clinging to the fantasy that if you save them, they'll somehow save you in return. But I can tell you right now, keep dreaming. After Jessica was taken away by the police, Sophia acted swiftly, immediately calling an emergency meeting with all senior management. Even those who had already left for the day were called back. I'm giving you all a chance to come clean. Who else was involved in this? Silence. But, unsurprisingly, all eyes turned to Mark Jenkins. His ambiguous relationship with Jessica was practically an open secret in the company. Sophia sneered. No one's admitting it. Fine, then we'll see you in court. She immediately instructed the legal department to prepare lawsuits against Apex Industries and Jessica Bell to be filed as soon as possible. Mark was clearly distracted, his eyes darting around in panic. Mr. Jenkins, you seem to be sweating quite a bit, I asked with a smile. Huh? Am I? Mark wiped his forehead. No, I'm not. I smiled again. Mr. Jenkins, do you think Jessica, down at the station, will reveal who the mastermind is? What? You think there's a mastermind behind this? Surely not. Mark was now drenched in sweat. I snorted. Who knows? I bet there is. Even if Jessica doesn't talk, Apex Industries will spill the beans in court, don't you think? The next day, Mark Jenkins actually skipped town. He didn't show up for work, and his phone was unreachable. A guilty conscience needs no accuser. This was as good as an admission that he was involved in the data theft. But could he really get away? Soon, the police, acting on our report, apprehended him. At the same time, they uncovered evidence of substantial money transfers from Apex Industries to his accounts. Sophia and I went to the police station to see him. We asked him why he did it. Was it for the money? Having fallen from a respected social elite and senior manager at a large corporation to his current state as a prisoner, Mark Jenkins had a complete mental breakdown. He roared, "It was for the money, but not entirely." He pointed at me. "It's all your fault. Sophia Hayes should have been mine. I'm so much more qualified. Why did she choose you? She even threatened me multiple times for your sake, said she'd kick me out of the company, getting Jessica to steal client data and sell it to Apex Industries. It was all to get revenge on you. Liam Walker, I hate you." Folks, I was genuinely speechless, almost amused. First Jessica, now Mark. This pair who cheated on me. Now, they hated me? Where's the justice in that? Sophia, however, hearing Mark's words, looked at him with utter contempt. You're delusional. Liam is 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times better than you. You're not even fit to lick his boots. I warned you long ago, don't mess with Liam. Now, you can go rot in jail with Jessica. Ultimately, in court, both Mark Jenkins and Jessica Bell received the punishment they deserved. Apex Industries also paid a hefty price. Found guilty of unfair business competition, they not only had to compensate us for all financial losses, but were also fined a massive sum, several times the damages. And within the company, with the troublemakers gone, my work life became much more pleasant. Soon, I was once again the top salesperson, propelling our company's performance to #1 in the industry. Even the retired Mr. Hayes looked at me with newfound respect. It was the weekend again. Sophia proactively suggested we do things we love to do together. I panicked. What are you planning? I'm thinking. Be serious. Oh, come on, let's go hiking. When we reached the foot of the mountain, she asked me to carry her up. You said it yourself. Remember, forget carrying me down. You could carry me up the mountain, no problem. Of course, you think I was just bluffing? I lifted her onto my back, and under the early morning sun, we walked step by step up the mountain. When we reached the patch of bushes where I'd found her before, she suddenly smiled mysteriously. Liam, that time you were pulling out the thorns for me. Did you have any wicked thoughts? Especially when you were dealing with the ones on my butt. I put on a perfectly straight face. No, nope, she grinned mischievously. Are you even a man? I grinned back just as mischievously. Whether I'm a man or not. Do you want to find out? Yes. Well then, you free this Sunday? She playfully punched my arm. Yes.